Hi, I'm Peter Jones, Chartered Surveyor, author and property investor. And one thing which we need loads of as property investors is data. Good, reliable, accurate data. Data which will help us decide which strategy we want to follow. Data which will help us decide which area or region or town or street of the country we want to buy our properties in to fit that strategy. Data which will actually help us to find the individual properties and analyse the deals, and data which will help us to do things like work out the cost of refurb, work out how much tax we're going to pay, and so on and so on and so on. And I'm going to show you an amazing source of data which you can access right now and which will give you all or most of the data you're ever going to need in property. I'm going to jump onto my computer and show you exactly what I'm talking about. I want to introduce you to an amazing source of data for property investors. And I met Michael, who's developing this, at the Property Investor Show in Excel in October. And I was telling him how impressed with this I am, because month by month he's adding more and more different sources of data. His vision is for this to be a go-to portal for property investors. So if you want data on any particular subject to do with property, which is going to help you either find your investment area or to find properties in your investment area, this is the place where you're going to come. So there's loads of data, and I haven't got time to go through it all, otherwise this would be like a 5-hour video, and I want it to be a 3-minute video. But there's data nationally. Let me just click this, and we'll have a quick look at the national data. So there's data by postcode. There's a postcode map. You can click on your area, and you can see all the data charts for that particular area. Bits and pieces about rental yield hotspot, the property market health in a particular area. Go in by postcode and find out what the property market's actually doing there. Construction costs in your area, and so on and so on. You can also get local property market data, so you can define your area. I'm on a basic level plan, which means that I can have 3 areas, but there's a pro level where you can have more areas than that, and you can get all of the data that you want within your local area, which you can define by district, town or postcode. So this is like a dummy account which I've set up just to give you an idea of how it all works. This is one of my investment areas, Gateshead. And you'll see that it's got a dashboard, so you could potentially on the basic level have 3 different areas. I've only put 1 area in, but you see it's already giving an average value, average price per square foot, growth over the last 3 years, average yield. But let's just click in and we'll see what it's actually showing us. Because the very first thing that comes up is this. It gives a scatter graph of values per bedroom or for particular types of properties. Now you can define it by other ways: sold prices by type, asking prices by square foot. But it's giving you an idea of what the area is like and how the property market operates in the area. And I can confirm this is all correct, because in my area it's mainly 2 and 3 bedroom properties, mainly flats, and they're all around about the sort of 60,000-70,000 mark if they're 2 beds, and around about the 80,000 mark if they're 3 beds. If you don't know the area, or if you want to do a bit more in-depth research on the area, this is a good starting point. But you can click along all the tabs at the top. So you can look at rents. It'll give you rent scatter graph as well, which will show you what's happening with the rental values in your local area. You can look at yields. You can look at growth. Now this is a great one, because so many people will say to me things like, "I know you don't get any growth up north." Just such a blanket sweeping comment. And it's not true. So here we are. Here's Gateshead. Here is the actual level of growth in Gateshead, a very defined area, since July 2014. And we can see what's been happening year by year. 2016 was a great year, 7% growth. Who would have thought? This year not being so good, slipping back a little bit. But it's there. The data is there for us to look at. By the way, if you wonder where the data comes from, it says it all comes from Zoopla. So that's pretty good as well. It's got a tab here where we can look at activity in the property market, 36 sales per month. We can look at the stock that's available. We can look at the demographics. We just go on and on. It's just got so much great data at a local level. But there's even more. There's even more. Because if we go up here, we can see there's the national, there's another way of accessing the national data, there's the local data. But there's a plot map. We can actually go in and look at plots. We can look at how buildings are actually situated on the plots. We can start looking for development projects. We can look for houses which have got bigger gardens, all of that kind of stuff. There's a sourcing tab. On the pro level, you can get access to lists of repossessed properties, lists of unmodernised properties, lists of properties for cash buyers only. You can get HMO licensed property. You can get lists of auction properties. All of this kind of good stuff here, which is on that tab. And then here, just look at this, tools. You can use a tool to get a rough and ready property valuation, and that even sort of refers back to the floor area of the property. If you're not sure how big the property is, you can go onto this tab and you can look up the internal floor area. You'll be able to get that off the EPC register, but it'll take you there, it'll help you to do that. It's got HMO rental valuations. It does development valuations for you. And then here under calculators, look at this. It's got a build cost calculator. So if you think you're doing refurbs, you can go in there and get build costs in your local area. It's got a stamp duty calculator. So if you're thinking, well, I'm a bit confused with all the changes of stamp duty and I'm not sure what the stamp duty will be for an investment property, it will tell you how to work it out. It gives you a yield calculator. If you get confused about how to work out yields in your particular area, it will help you to do it. A cash flow calculator and a tax calculator. Now this is quite interesting, because if you're thinking, well, should I buy a property in my own name or should I buy it in a limited company, and what difference would it make to my tax situation, you can plug the figures in and use that. Now I'm not saying that it will, get rid of the need for an accountant. It won't, but it means that you can do a calculation from your kitchen table before you talk to your accountant, and go and talk to your accountant better armed and more informed, and have a better level of discussion with them. But there's something else, and I'm keeping the best till last, so this is really exciting, because just click on this tab here, it says browser extension. You can bring data directly into a property search. What does that mean? Well, you can download an extension. It's very easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it. It's literally just clicking on the thing and it does it itself. And what does it mean? It means that when you go onto Rightmove, but not just Rightmove, but also when you go onto Zoopla, but not just Rightmove and Zoopla, but also when you go onto onthemarket.com, you get this. You get this appears, and it gives you the average asking price in the area. This is going into Rightmove, by the way. I should explain. I've gone into Rightmove on my investment area in North Shields, not Gateshead, but it's very close. Just as a random example, I just picked it out, and I clicked on this property just to show you what comes up. And so you get the average asking price in the area, you get the average rent in the area, you get the average yield in the area, you get figures on growth in the area. You get a demand level. Well, it's a seller's market. The demand level's pretty good at the moment. Yeah, again, maybe a surprise if we're all thinking that the north is a wasteland and nothing's happening. No, actually, there's plenty of buyers out there in the north at the moment. But look at this. It also works out the stamp duty. Were I to buy this property as an investment, I'd be paying £2,099 worth of stamp duty. It works it out for me. And then it's got links here where we can go into things like plot map and valuation, all that kind of stuff. Really, really useful from the extension, and it works, as I say, not just on Rightmove but also on Zoopla and also on themarket.com. So if you're a property investor and if you want access to data and if you want it at your fingertips, this is for you. So I'm going to leave a link for you to be able to access this. There's, I think, a 30-day free trial which you can use it, but I suggest that at some point you do sign up for this. I'll give you a link. If you're looking on YouTube, it'll be in the description. If you're looking at this on Facebook, it'll probably be underneath the video. If you're looking at this on my blog, it'll be underneath the video. If you use that link, you'll go through, you'll be able to sign up. I'll be perfectly honest, I get a couple of quid if you sign up, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because this is such a great source of data, and I really want to help Michael develop this, because Michael's vision is for this to be the source of property data. And I think the more of us who join up and use this, the better able he'll be able to see through his vision, the more resources he'll be able to have, and he'll be able to do it. So I think it's a great thing to do. So use the link, https://propertydata.co.uk/TPT. I'll put it in the description and underneath.